Welcome back. Okay, so news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for today. Starting off with Dmitry Orlov, who yesterday they announced was getting a 2-game suspension for the kneeing incident against Nick Ehlers. Nick Ehlers is said to be out for the rest of the road trip for the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets clearly are going to miss him. A very explosive player, can play very well both ends of the ice. There's some physicality to his game as well. So it's not easy to replace that, and so we'll see how the Jets do without him in the lineup. And of course, with Orlov getting the 2 games, there will be those who say it's not long enough. But that was my prediction yesterday, and here we are. So yeah, 2 games for him. Peter DeBoer kind of correcting what was said by the owner earlier last week, where it was said by owner Foley of the Vegas Golden Knights that we would see Eichel in the lineup within the next couple of weeks. Peter DeBoer, who I trust him on this one, says it's more like a month or 2 before he's going to be in the lineup. The thing is, if you see him on the ice at the practice rink, he may look fine. You might be like, he looks good at the practice rink. He looks good. He's out there skating. He looks good. But they're going to want to do their due diligence. It's the first time that an NHLer's had that surgery, disc replacement, and therefore they're not going to want to rush him back, right? So I would expect that they're going to wait until they know he's 100% and then get him out on the ice, taking checks and get him into the lineup. So for Vegas, it is a little bit further down the road before they're going to have to create that cap space with which they can then accommodate Jack Eichel. Bad news for Buffalo, although is there any other kind of news right now for Buffalo? Basically, it's just waiting for the draft lottery, right? First off, there was a leak yesterday of an alternate jersey for Buffalo that actually they're not going to wear until next year. So, whoops. Also, Subban, Malcolm Subban's out for the season with a lower body injury. So even if it was this year's jersey, he wouldn't be able to wear it. So for Subban, it's been a rough go. He's gone from team to team, and now he's going to be out for the rest of the year with lower body injury. He actually had surgery as well. Colin Miller had surgery too. He's out for 6 weeks. It's an undisclosed injury for him. And so, for Buffalo, it's just more and more injuries. Okpozo's week to week. Hinostroza, lower body injury. He's week to week as well. So, for Buffalo, it just keeps going in that same direction. There's more guys getting injured. Of course, they went through the whole protocol thing too. So, it's been a long season for a lot of teams in terms of guys missing games, which is why I keep a close eye on Yandel and Kessel right now, because both of them are chasing the Doug Jarvis games played consecutively record, and see if they end up on the list at some point. There's a couple on the Canucks that have gone on the list today, in all likelihood anyways. They've had the positive test, and now they're just waiting for the next test to verify that they're going to be out. But so again, I don't cover who's in and who's out of the protocol at this point because it's just so many. I may start reporting on it because it feels like the list is dropping, but it's a lot of players. So some good news too. Detroit. I'm wearing Detroit for this, and I'm wearing my Yzerman jersey. He's claimed Jamel Smith on waivers from Tampa, so this means that he can play with his brother. I think that's good. It is something that we've noticed, in the NHL over the last couple of years that. Brothers being acquired to play with one another's become a thing again. And so I think this is a good move. He's got some speed. He's a fourth liner. There's not a lot of the offense there, but the effort is, and there's some speed. And if you have decent skating speed these days, you will have a place in the NHL, or at the very least, you get a chance at a place in the NHL. Your skating can get you in the door. They did the rescheduling yesterday, and it's a lot. The Leafs will play 10 games in 18 days. The Senators have about 50 games over their last 100 days. Might be exactly 50 games over their last 100 days. So for the Olympic break, where it was scheduled between the 7th and the 25th, it starts on the 7th with Carolina in Toronto and New Jersey in Ottawa. And then you have 7, 6, 7, 4, 8. So we have a lot of games in this period in time here. Some of them got moved from elsewhere. There's 23 other games that were affected by the rescheduling that were outside of the Olympic break. The busiest day is the 17th, where they have 10 games on. But what's impressive is the season does still end on the 29th of April. There will not be any games beyond the 29th of April at this point. There is the idea that maybe they have another week there where they can reschedule things, but they'd really rather not. And with the asymptomatic not being tested anymore after the All-Star break, odds are we shouldn't see any more postponements anyways. I think the taxi squad probably stays in place through the end of the season. I'd be kind of surprised if it doesn't, just because you can still have outbreaks, and the taxi squad's definitely saved some games from being delayed or put off altogether. So yeah, it's going to be a busy time for the Canadian teams in particular, who have been most affected by postponements. And so a lot of their games get rescheduled into this period in time, and we'll see how things turn out. And of course, for the Islanders, they're just going to have a really rough schedule from here anyways, because they've played fewer games. I'm pretty sure they've played the fewest games of any team in the NHL right now. That was them in Colorado. Colorado's played, I think, 4 in the last 8 days. It feels like Colorado's playing a lot right now. So I don't think that they're down with the Islanders now. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty busy schedule for the Islanders. Now, in terms of giving media sound bites, Sheldon Keefe clearly frustrated with the Leafs' inability to protect another lead against the Rangers. Mitch Marner saying that they took it easy after the first and they kind of coasted. Basically saying that the Leafs were soft and purposeless. So it's not going to end up in the collar of their jerseys. It's not as catchy as what they have in their jerseys now, the whole honor and bravery and all whatever else. But it's interesting because this is a team that it's been said for years they don't have enough pushback. There isn't that physical pushback, and yet they've got Clifford, they've got Simmons, they've got guys who can play a tougher game, and soft and purposeless is what's being said about the team. I think there's a lack of focus with Toronto at times. I think that when they have the lead, their style of play does change. And so we'll see where things go. It's the one loss against the Rangers. However, it's also been a pattern where even though they've been winning the games, it hasn't been pretty. And here we are. Now we're hearing the coach saying soft and purposeless. The one thing with that is that the general manager's not going anywhere at this point. So if Sheldon Keefe feels this way and if the Leafs continue to be middling, does his job end up on the line at some point? I mean, almost half the Canadian teams have made a change either behind the bench or in the front office anyways, so why not Toronto? Anyways, as crazy as that might sound, and it does, I do wonder how far this can go before Toronto has to make some major change, whether it's on the ice, whether it's the players, or whether it's something else. And it may not necessarily be a head coach. Sometimes it's an assistant. Sometimes it's just something else with the staffing that seems a little off they want to make changes with. But the Leafs, they do struggle with playing that full 60 minutes. And they've got to address that. Now's a good time to address it because we're not quite to the halfway point of the season yet anyways. So if you're going to have problems, have them in January. Just make sure you've got it straightened out by April or you're really in trouble. There were 2 players on waivers yesterday. They've both cleared today. Hetherington for the Ottawa Senators, White for the New Jersey Devils. They will be assigned now that they've cleared, of course. And there you go. You're all set. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding the schedule updates and all of that. So it's going to be a busy month of February for me. And I'm fine with that. Doesn't bother me at all. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.